I am on my way to get the mail, and look at how the seasons are changing. Fall colors popping up, leaves starting to fall, snow on the mountains. There was snow on our yard this morning, but it's melted by now. Oh, I love fall, but I hate raking. Ay. Well, hello. It's been a while since I did a vlog, so I thought I would give this another go. I decided to do it now in October because I had a really kind of crappy reading month in September, and I'm trying to turn that around this month. Gotten a bit of a slow start. I'm listening to an audiobook for Victober and Spookathon. It qualifies for both. It's The Woman in White by Wilkie Collins. I'm about 5 hours into it. It's a 25-hour audiobook, and it's good so far. I thought it was really dragging in the beginning. It seemed like there was a lot of exposition that I had to get through to get to the actual book. But now that I'm into it, I keep getting caught up in the story. It's moving really well. The main focus of what I want to do is I'm on my way to the library right now to pick up Ducks Newburyport, and I'm really excited. I'm also really scared because I feel like I've put a lot of anticipation on this book. I've kind of built it up a lot. BookTube, my corner of BookTube has kind of built it up a lot. So it's going to be interesting to see if it lives up to the hype. I'm worried I'm going to be the one person who doesn't like Ducks Newburyport. So I'm picking that up. I do have a copy of The Testaments on hold. I've decided I'm not going to pick that up. And while I'm there, so I had Out of Darkness, Shining Light from the library, but I am going to return it and see if I can just focus on Ducks Newburyport, get that done, and then do a little more reading for Victober and Spookathon, and just a little reading for myself too, because it can't all be readathons. So that is the plan. I also have the audiobook of Cranford ready to go, so I got to power through a little bit more Woman in White, and we will see how this goes. So, let's do this. All right, we are leaving the library, and success. It is as chunky as everybody says it is. You could hurt somebody with this book. I don't know why you would want to, but you certainly could if you so chose. I'm really excited. As I said, I did not end up picking up The Testaments. I returned my other two books, including Christodora. And this is going to keep me pretty busy. I had forgotten to mention, though, that this vlog is not just going to be about Ducks Newburyport and my journey there. I am doing a buddy read with Doris at Aldi Books late in August, and I need to get some work done on that and finish it. So I got to do a lot of reading in October. We got some work to do. Let's do it. Hello. Just quick update on reading progress, which has not been very good. I'm in the middle of some work, so I got to get back shortly, but wanted to check in. So I've been doing really well listening to my audiobook, which is The Woman in White by Wilkie Collins. I am not halfway through, but it's a really long audiobook, so that was always going to be an uphill battle. I got 50 pages into Ducks Newburyport the day I got it. Have not been able to pick it up since because I wanted to focus on The Light in August, and I've only made incremental progress on a chapter in that. So I'm using you guys to hold me accountable, because if I keep talking about reading, I feel I have to actually start doing reading. So tonight I'm not going to be able to read because we have a stained glass class. Can't wait to show you how that's going. I'm only in the design phase, and I don't have the pattern with me right now, but I'll show you at some point. And that's fun. But unfortunately, I won't be getting home until about 9:30 or 10 o'clock. So tonight's not going to be good for reading anyway, and today's been slammed with work, so I didn't even get to read at lunch. But, so it's been, what's today? Today's Wednesday. I started on Sunday. So I have not been very good on progress in books since Sunday, but we're going to do this. We're going to do this. We hung this thing outside of the window over the weekend, and initially, Jamie, one of my dogs, was just barking at it nonstop, and we were laughing at it. And now, today, I am working, and I cannot tell you how many times I have looked to the side and been startled thinking that somebody was standing outside the window and just staring at me. So, yeah, it was supposed to be funny, and I am just scaring myself now. Also, we are going to have to rake this weekend, and I hate that. Oh well. Okay, we put another thing in the window. This is supposed to be sound and motion sensor. So it will turn on if somebody gets close to it or if there's a loud noise. But the wind turned it toward the window, and every once in a while, its proximity to the window will set it off. And I am trying to work right here, and it keeps startling me. So, yeah. It's going great. Periodically, the wind just sets it off, I guess, if it hits it right. So, here it comes again. Happy Halloween. It's okay, Jamie. It's okay. Okay, so funny story. I forgot I was doing a vlog. So it's been a while since I've done an update. We are now at the end of October. It is fall in Montana, evidenced by all of the leaves everywhere. I'm walking Guinness. He is really pulling, so we'll see how this goes. But I wanted to catch you up on everything that's been going on in my reading world and life. There's been a lot. I threw out my TBR for the month of October, which you may remember, and I will have a wrap-up soon since we're at the end of October where I'll talk more about that. But let's go over what I'm currently reading, starting with Duck's Newburyport. As you know, since it was in this very video, this vlog started with me picking up Duck's Newburyport from the library. Really excited to read it. In the 2 weeks I had it, I only made it 75 pages in. I was really enjoying it, but I'm reading too many things at one time, and I didn't feel like I was being able to give it the attention that it really deserves. So I held on to it for a couple of days, returned it to the library today, paid my late fee, and I didn't think it was going to be considerate for me to keep holding on to it with all those people waiting. And I decided, basically, since I had to go pick up a book at my local indie anyway, that I would just buy a copy. So I did. So now I can read it on my own time and not have to worry about who's coming up behind me, and I take all the time I need. And at the same time, Duck's Newburyport is published by a small publisher, and I get to support them and the type of publishing that they do. So I am very okay with this. I did buy way too many books at that today, but I'll have a book haul coming up on that as well. So stay tuned. So that's the situation with Duck's Newburyport. In other news, late in August, I've made good progress on that with Doris. She has been sending me updates all day, and I haven't been able to listen to them yet, but she is finishing the book today. So it's real now, and I gotta catch up and get to the finish line. I definitely will have it done by the end of the month, and I will talk about it more in my wrap-up. Sorry, my dog is running downhill now. So we'll talk about more about that. It's happening. It's almost done. There's pretty scenery, Montana in the fall for you. So that is Duck's Newburyport. That is Light in August. I have also started a buddy read with Simon from Savage Reads, Blacklight by Kimberly King Parsons. I owe him a message back. He sent me one, I think, yesterday. So we're taking that two at a time. I am 7 stories in, I think, and I'll talk more about that at a certain point. Again, my wrap-up is coming up. And what else am I doing? I started an audiobook for Under the Manor of Heaven by John Krakauer, which is good so far. I'm about an hour and a half into it. I hope this doesn't make you dizzy that I'm moving around so much, but it's pretty behind me, so hopefully that helps. And that is everything that I'm currently reading. I just picked up a bunch of books from the bookstore and a book from the library as well. The book from the library is nonfiction, so could potentially, I'm not going to do a full nonfiction November. If I happen to read something that qualifies, cool. So the book I got from the library is nonfiction, so that probably will be something for that. That's where I'm reading right now, how everything is going. I am gonna put the attention back on Guinness and finish this walk up. I hope you're doing well, and I'll talk more. One thing I forgot to mention about the weather we've had here in Montana in the fall. It is insane, like fully insane. So obviously it's really pretty today. It's cool enough that I'm not wearing a jacket. Yesterday it was freezing and raining and snowing. So it's not the first time it snowed this year. So who knows? I don't know if you can see this, but traces of snow from yesterday still here. Oh yeah, it's really coming down now. Guinness and Jameson are upset because a car just drove by. How rude. By the way, these things are still scaring me periodically throughout the day, and underneath the tarp, that is all of the leaves that my husband cleaned up on Friday while I was working. He is a good egg. And I feel really bad because that is about 30, I want to say, bags of leaves. And there's still more leaves to come down, but it's snowing. What's going on, Jamie? Can you explain that to me? Can you, Guinness? Can you? All right, so the snow is really coming down right now, so that's thrilling, but it is what it is. So really quickly, I did a video recently where I mentioned the Finally Fall book tag, and I mentioned that my fall reading accessory or cozy reading accessory is a lap blanket. So there was a comment from somebody who wanted to know what my lap blanket looks like. It's this right here next to me. It's actually a copy of the Marauders map from Harry Potter. I laid it out for you, and then Jameson discovered it and said, "Oh, cool, a blanket. This is clearly for me." So if you can see, this is the one I'm using right now. It's just the Marauders map in blanket form. Can't use it right now because Jameson has kindly taken it over for herself. Oh well, it's a lady's prerogative. Checking in really quickly with books. So the two that I am really working on to well, there are three. I'm listening to an audiobook of Under the Banner of Heaven as well by John Krakauer. I should have that done by the end of the month. And but the other two books that I am working on finishing before the end of the month, Blacklight by Kimberly King Parsons. This is a buddy read with Simon from Savage Reads. So far, I think I have just sent a message to him, so I have to check to see where he's still at. I am 6 stories in, and both of us had agreed this is, right now, it's about a 3.5 star read for us. Potential to go a little bit higher. I don't think it could dip lower, but we'll see how the rest of that goes. And I am nearing the finish line for Light in August, which is my buddy read with Doris from Aldi Books. She sent me a flurry of messages yesterday that I have to listen to because I believe she finished the book. And I was going to try to catch up to her before listening to her messages, but I'm too curious. So I'm going to try to finish this either tonight or maybe tomorrow. And then I'll actually, for as much struggling as I had reading this month, I'm actually ending up not in bad shape for the end of the month. So we'll see how that goes. And then I'm not going to do a TBR in the month of November, at least not in the structure that I did. I am going to go through and try to decide which books I really want to prioritize before the end of the year, since we're really close, guys. We are really close to the end of the year, and that is mind-boggling, which is also mind-boggling too, because at the end of the year, I will have been on BookTube for 1 year, which is, wow. A year goes by really quickly. So yeah, but if you're interested in hearing the books that I will be prioritizing for the end of the year, let me know. I might do a video on it anyway, but let me know what you think about that. And we'll see. I'm looking forward to finishing these two and Under the Banner of Heaven before the end of the month. Okay, guys, it is October 29th, and it is crunch time because I want to finish the books that I'm reading by the end of the month so I can have a clean slate in November, do a fresh start, and go from there. I think it's going to be like a cleansing thing for me, help me exercise these demons where I've been having such a hard time getting into anything, getting through anything. I think a fresh start is exactly what I need, but I have to finish these books in order to do it. So I'm sitting here and I'm working, and periodically throughout the day, whenever I have a moment, I'm going to try to pick up my book and get some reading done. Got my sweater, got my puppies, because it's still cold and snowy here. Incidentally, on sweaters, I don't know what happened when I did laundry at the end of the winter season last year, but one of my cardigans is too small for me. And I'm not talking about like fat, like waistline too small. I'm talking like it doesn't even fit my shoulders anymore. Like it suddenly looks like it's kid sized. And even this sweater is small for me, but I'm talking about in like sleeve length. Like how does this happen over winter or over the course of over summer until you put it back on? I don't know what I did, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. So I've got to get listening to Under the Banner of Heaven. I'm making good progress on that. I'm about 3 hours in. I should have about 7 hours left. So I've got a lot of work to do on that. I'm in great shape with Blacklight, Kimberly King Parsons. There are 4 stories left. So if I read 2 stories before bed tonight and 2 stories before bed tomorrow night, I will be done with this before the end of the month, which will be perfect. I will say I did enjoy the last 2 stories a little bit more. I sent Simon from Savage Reads a message about that. So it'll be interesting to see what he thinks and if he agrees. And I'm running toward the finish line for Late in August, William Faulkner. Doris is already done, so I got to catch up to her and finish this, and then it should be very doable. I'm holding out my opinion of this one until I'm done, because I think a lot is really going to depend on how this ends. So, got to finish it. So I think this is going to be the harder one, because I have, I think, 4 chapters left. I can't remember. So I got to get through them. Hopefully between today and tomorrow, I'm hoping for today, but hopefully between those 2 days, I will be done with this. I can get back to Doris, listen to the last update from Brian over at Bookish, where he, for his read along, where he talked about the chapters. And I can count my first Faulkner novel as finished, and that will be wonderful. So, let's do this. Checking in here with Guinness, who is fast asleep, to tell you that the first part of the day has not been great for reading, which isn't really a surprise because I'm working. But I have 3 chapters left. It's lunchtime, so I got to take this little guy and his sister, who's over drinking water, outside for a little potty break and for a little bit of excitement, and then we're gonna try to get some work done on this. That's the plan. Let's see how it goes. Oh my God, the sun is out, but it is freezing out here. Aren't you freezing, Guinness? He doesn't even want to walk around. Okay, so reading at lunch did not go great. People keep calling me, people keep sending emails that I have to deal with. It's like I have a job or something. It's really annoying. So, new plan. I'm going to try to finish Blight in August tonight, after work. And we'll see how that goes. Hopefully better. Stay tuned. I have good news, guys. It's done. I stayed up late last night and I finished Light in August, and then this morning I went to Brian at Bookish's channel and watched his last video on the last few chapters of the book. I checked out Big Hard Books and Classics as well, and I listened to the messages that Doris sent me about the end of the book, and I just sent her my thoughts about it so we can put this one to bed. Long story short, I complained about it a lot to Doris, but I actually did like it. I think there are parts of it that I found frustrating, parts of it that I think Faulkner deliberately wants you to engage with this book. You can't just casually read it and ride the wave to the end, which is good. It's nice to challenge yourself by doing things like that. I think some of the ways it's done here are frustrating. And maybe it's that I had a really difficult reading month as well. But I did enjoy the book. I love Faulkner as a writer. I would definitely check out another book of his. I encourage you to check out Doris's video. I'm sure she'll have a wrap up. Brian at Bookish's video, Big Hard Books and Classics. It's been very helpful to do this as part of a read along. You can get a lot of opinions. I will say some things I hadn't picked up on. I got, especially from Brian's videos, I hadn't noticed like rope as a recurring trend, windows, which seems so obvious until I watched his videos. So that was really good and very helpful. So this is done. Yay, I can mark it off my list. And then in other good news, before I switched over to Light in August and stayed up late to read that, I read 2 stories in Blacklight by Kimberly King Parsons. Didn't like those as much as the 2 previous ones. I have to get thoughts over to Simon about that. And then there are only 2 stories left and roughly 50 pages. And I can do that tonight. And then I'll be done with this one. Yay! So then I have my audio, Under the Banner of Heaven. I neglected it yesterday because there was a new episode of Dolly Parton's America, a podcast that I am obsessed with and love. And I had to focus on finishing late in August. So I don't know if I'll finish that before the end of the month. If I do, great. If I don't, whatever. It'll carry over into November. I am also looking at starting this in a couple of days. This will be a buddy read with Sean the Book Maniac. And we selected this because we both liked The Heart's Invisible Furies. And it just won the BookTube prize, so it feels like a timely book to be reading right now. In the meantime, I may pick up something just for me to read and see if I can manage to finish it before we get into Ladder to the Sky. So, that, I believe, concludes my October reading vlog. Whew! It was a journey. I am looking forward to a fresh start in November. I have this buddy read, and then I have I have a buddy read in December potentially. I have to check in with that person, but it's going to be nice. I'm going to focus on some things that I want to read. This among them, so very excited. Looking forward to that. And this fresh start, I feel like I really got myself bogged down and stressed about reading, and I feel rejuvenated and ready to go for this new month. So yeah. Let me know your thoughts. If you've read Light in August or Blacklight, if you have any words of advice going into A Ladder to the Sky, let me know that as well. I'm going to snuggle a puppy and work, of course. And yeah, I'll check in with you again in November. I will be doing my wrap-up for the month of October tomorrow, if you're watching this the day that this video is published. If not, my October wrap-up, it will be a thing that exists. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. I will talk about all of those except for Ladder to the Sky. And I'm not doing a TBR for the month of November because that didn't work out great for me this month. But I think I am going to do a video in which I talk about some books I might want to prioritize just for myself for the rest of the year. And we'll see how that goes. So, as always, thank you for coming along on this journey and spending some time watching this. It's always appreciated, and I will be back. Until then, happy reading.